What's up, Addicts? We're back with a discussion video. This is separate from our review, so go and watch the review first.
Yeah, because the review will be released before this one.
And this is going to be spoiler heavy. We're going to go through the story beats in a more direct way and talk about some of the character development. So, Josh, hit us up with whatever you want first.
Okay. Well, if you want, we can kind of talk about the individual characters, because there's a lot of, like, development and stuff that goes on. So, I don't know, I guess I'll just go, I think I put this in, like, chronological order that we see them. So, like, Fells, we see him briefly, but we don't see him, like, for, like, not much at all in the book. But he does have one line, or at least there's one line mentioned in the book that I think is great, and it's that he's just, like, as soon as he hears Belle's in trouble, he's like, I gotta put it all on the line, because he's done so much for me. Yeah, so I was like, oh, like, starting off, like, that was at the beginning of the book, so I was like, this... Just because from that one line, Welf's got to do some major stuff to keep his best bro status up. I don't know about you, but that's what I thought at least.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, and then with Herrheim, I mean...
so good.
I said it wrong again. I'm so used to saying... Hirahime, sorry. But yeah, she has so much stuff. I mean, she's not even in the... She's only in the book for, like, the first half, right? Or, like, the first quarter or whatever?
Half, because she's passed out for the rest of it. Yeah, 40% about.
So, like, but even in that time, she still has, like, a lot. So, like, it's, you know, I think she's got, like, her new strat for, like, level boost, which is, like, she holds on to, like, one of the level boosts so that she doesn't have a mind down. So it, like, lets her, like, you know. It's like what is it in Skyrim when you can, like, hold it, but, like, your magic will still regenerate?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's some other thing that's everybody plays.
Skyrim's got many systems.
Yeah. And then, you know, he's also got, what is it, like, she can just, from that strat, she can use, like, at least 3 rounds of level boost. So that's 5 level boosts 3 times. Gosh,
also,
that magic's still OP to this day.
It is really OP. Also, you get to learn a little bit more of, like, well, you kind of knew from the show and from other books, like, how she was treated when they were going dungeon crawling in her old familia. But you get to know that, and you get to know she's the best at speed casting.
Yeah, like, she's got, like, that auctioneer voice going on.
It's like...
Which, that's great.
Anyway.
I feel like a mage, that needs to be an isekai somewhere. It's got to be, like, a guy that used to be an auctioneer.
Dude, I'm in.
And then he becomes, like, a mage in the next world. That'd be awesome. That's the way he totally beats everybody. And then you got Daphne. I think Daphne's probably, like, the one that we see, like, the least of, but she's got important moments for her character, but she doesn't have, like, huge ones, because she's got a couple times where, like, she brings morale back to, like, the party.
She's also depressing at the same time.
Yeah, sometimes. She's kind of like, well, we're screwed.
But you get to see her power for the first time.
I'm like, I think this is the first time we know of, like, her power, like, in the book. I've personally, like, seen it because I played the game, so I know what it does. But it's pretty cool though that, like, the agility boost where she can, like, deflect certain stuff. I think, like, her endurance is increased when she's, like, close to death or whatever. But she's got a few moments encouraging Lily and, like, building on that commander role, which
Lily,
like, going into Lily, yeah, because she has, you know, like, more, like, you know, like we just said, like, more commandments and stuff. But I think probably the coolest thing to me was seeing how, like, she, like, remembers all of their skills and, like, actually has them, like, use it.
Yeah, she's like the you know, commander.
Yeah. Like, better than Finn, though. We're all gonna say
better than Finn.
Yeah. Aisha, the only thing I wrote down for Aisha's was just that, like, I like that she stole from Hermes. That's it. Because he's a god-awful character. And I can say that...
terrible person.
Yeah. Because he's actually a god-awful character.
Yeah, there you go.
See,
also, Aisha, you know, she had a role killing it. She was killing it out there with the boys. And... she was pretty OP.
You're right, too. That line where she's like, Welf, you better not go down because I'm not carrying you.
I ain't doing that.
Cassandra's, like, probably another one, too, that's, like, you know, she's got a big win for her because not only does she, like, win against, like, Calamity, finally, but, like, you know, she gets her friend to actually believe in her. Which, first time, anybody... I guess Belle kind of didn't. I think Belle, like, laughed it off, kind of.
Yeah, but, yeah.
He's just like, nice guy. That's nice. Yeah.
We'll follow it.
You know? Welf.
So I think everyone believes in the prophecy, which I think the author focused on, like, her powers, so it'll be interesting to see, like, what the extent of her powers is. I hope it doesn't become a crutch for, like, other missions in La Familia.
Because, like, I think another series that we read, no, at least we both read that, like, I can agree to, that's like, it's kind of bad if it relies too heavily on it, but it's like in Ari Freda with Shia, like her foresight, like when they got to like the very end and like her foresight's like god tier, so she just uses it all the time. Like, I hope that's not the case for this, because that would be kind of boring.
It was a good one-off though. If she just like becomes a healer and like, you know.
But it's also kind of bad if they don't do it ever again, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be like, I'm okay with it, like if it's in like dire crises, you know, like if they go up against the dragon. You know, and she has that prophecy again, you know? Or, like, they gotta fight, or she's like, oh, I see Astros. He's coming. Bell, you gotta do something.
You gotta level up twice again.
Yeah. So, like, that would be cool, but I'm with you. It's gotta be balanced just right, but I don't think we'll have a problem with that, because he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
You want to talk about Welf? Because Welf's got, like, some awesome things.
Yeah, so, Welf, it's the first day he becomes, on his own path. He develops magical weapons that are a hybrid of normal magical weapons and Crow's magical weapons.
So good.
And they grow alongside / correspond to the magic power that each individual has. And they have, like, quick cast abilities, pretty much, similar to, like, the magic swords. But they don't break.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know, do you think that's because of the material he used? Or is that...
he uses his blood as well.
Yeah. Is it because, like, adamantite is the thing he used to make the sword, but that's not the unbreakable metal in the canon, right? That's Durndale or whatever.
I'm not sure.
Durkin, right?
I know adamantite's. I'm not gonna go into the ores of Danmachi, but I know adamantite's up there for being strong and like hard to. But I'm sure like some of the weapons, like maybe like Iz's weapon, is probably adamantite or something. So I don't know. But needless to say, in a moment of triumph, when their lives are on the line, he forges something to save them all, and
that's like not only like what he makes, but also how he does it and like his circumstances. Like he's making it in the dungeon.
Yeah, he's making it in the dungeon, and he realizes that why does he make weapons for his friends so his friends can survive and fight on? So that was really cute.
I don't know about you, but I think like probably the saddest thing about like after the book ended is just knowing that like half of their achievements are not going to be able to like be told or like noticed, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if they'll get a guild. Well, it's in speculation, but I wonder if they get a guild upgrade from this. I don't know, maybe.
I guess we'll see with the level boost. We might talk about level ups potentially. We'll talk about that in like the speculation for the next volume later in this video. I was going to say though, part of the reason why they can't say anything is because the Xenos are attached, and we get some people coming back.
Ween has a really cute movement.
Yeah. What about you? Because like I was sitting there and I was like, they got to show her. Because like if the Xenos are coming in to help, like she's got to be there, and they did, which I was really hyped about, and I was glad like her and Harahime had a little moment. But like Bell's kind of like half dead, or like he's just kind of like I could see who you are, but I can't do it.
Like
I'm sorry,
I'm paralyzed.
You know?
I can't smile.
Yeah. So like I don't know about you, but I don't take that as like their definitive reunion. It's like it is like their first reunion technically, but that's not like.
I think they still need to chill in the dungeon. Like that was like. I don't know. That was like the forging of their alliance. Like both sides will do anything to make sure the other side survives. So like I think it was more about that than more of like a reunion between Bell and Ween, and I think we'll probably see more of that later. I
think we got a good amount of like them working together, like helping out, because like you got like Mari, which she was an MVP of like what 13 or 12.
Yeah,
and
this one too.
Yeah, she gives them stuff that like actually saves their life.
Can we get like a bath for the mermaids? She can walk around and we can just like move her around in different places.
That'd be nice. Yeah, just get her, just have her like a bath on wheels.
Yeah,
or whatever.
She can like half speak right human.
Yeah, she can. I think she's like one of the few that can actually speak pretty well.
Yeah, I don't.
She's not as good as like Leto, I think.
Leto was pretty good in this one too.
Oh yeah, Balucci. I just love how I'm gonna be really happy if they give him like an Italian accent
that's
in the anime.
Have we? No, we haven't seen it in the anime yet. That's right.
No, next season though, which will be coming out pretty soon. I guess like the two biggest ones of this book though are probably like, Bell and Liu, because like we spent most of the book with them, and I think Bell's got a few moments where he like develops, but you can definitely tell where he's still a novice, right? Because like whatever somebody tells him, like gives him information or tells him like of a strategy, like he executes it and he takes that very well and he can like master it. But like I remember the section of the book saying that like he he has trouble like making things up for himself or like branching out. Like he does it, and there's moments where he's made some pretty cool stuff, but like it's not often.
Yeah, I think in this book is, well, I mean, Liu was teaching him general stuff, but I think the point of this book is like, okay, so now that you've gone through this, like you can develop these strategies on your own, and that was part of it, is like him developing his own strategies, and instead of just following what people say.
Yeah,
and doing really well what they say, he can develop his own strategies and goals and stuff.
I was really glad that we got Liu being as like a teacher to him, because like they've set that up for so long, and I think she from the get-go was a more interesting teacher or mentor to him than I ever was.
It makes sense because like after that, I don't know what the how the author wrote it and how he like storyboarded it out and everything, but I feel like after the changes of ideology, the author was like, but we still need Eyes to be a teacher, so let's just say that they'll train together later on.
Yeah.
And it was like, but if they really have changed and they've, there's been that big of an argument, I don't think it makes sense. He needs a new teacher. So I think in this book they did well to put a new teacher in instead of Eyes, and she was awesome.
I'd really hope that like if they do see Eyes again, which we're going to.
Yeah, probably next book.
Yeah, probably. I really hope
it'd be great if she wasn't.
She just disappeared forever.
Well, they're on a mission. So,
yeah,
they can't. They don't have time.
They're busy with the side story, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're busy fighting whatever. I don't care.
But yeah, I like that.
If you can see Lafili, it's okay though. She can be in there.
Yeah, she can be in there. Like when she was in the movie, I was like, all right, I'm okay with Loki Familia if she's in there.
Anyway, continue. I got you.
But I was just gonna say that, like, I would really hope that like the author does like what you're saying. It's just like, yeah, they said that because like they still respect each other, but like there is something that's just not going to work anymore. So like I hope the next time we see them interact, there is like a sign of that beef, that tension there, to the point where they can't really do that, or like maybe she blows him off a little bit. So because I think Belle can like work past like stuff because he's just an open guy. He's just a nice guy. But like Eyes, like I mean, she hates monsters. Yeah, there's really not much to talk about in terms of individual characters, just because like there's new characters, but they're for like Astria Familia, and they're dead, so we don't have to talk about that. I was gonna just go through and see if there was any interesting stuff
that you missed out. I can talk while you look. Okay. So probably the turning point in this one is there's a point where Liu sacrifices herself to save Belle. They're in a danger zone or coliseum. And it's actually not involved with the Juggernaut. It's just the normal monsters on the deep floors that wreck him. And Liu is sure that she's going to die, and then Bells comes in and saves the day one more time, even though she thought it was impossible, and she made it so it was almost impossible. So that was really great. I really liked that moment.
He just nuked that room.
He did nuke the room. I also liked, additionally, I really liked the moment where Belle's talking about how Liu has her own justice again, and like that redemption arc.
Oh, dude, yeah, because there's like their little like all the things that Liu does or like has. There's so many. Like when you, okay, so guys, Michael called me after he finished the book. I still had like 80 or 100 pages left, and he was talking how like he was just so impressed by the author that he was able to like stitch everything together, keep everything in tune, and like. I agree, like, after you read it, it's just like, holy cow, he had a lot to keep track of. But not only, like, all the information, but also having time to think of, like, symbolic things. Because there's a lot of things that Liu has happened to her that's, like, a symbolic or, like, a symbolism or metaphor for what she's gone through or, like, the change that's happening to her in the book. And, I mean, I don't know. We can make a whole video on that. I'm not going to like talk because I don't know if people really care about like all the nitty gritty of writing and like story building. But like it's really cool. If you look into it, it's there, and I think it's all the more impressive. For
really, you can see that the author has improved through the years that he's been writing. I think this, as far as the best plot line connecting everything else, I think it was the most well crafted book. And now. Totally switching topics, but another thing I enjoyed is we got like a little sneak peek into what the afterlife in the universe is like in this universe.
Oh yeah,
where you're seeing her friends, which might be a hallucination.
He can always like fall back off like, oh, that's not real.
But if you watch the movie, when Belle dies of old age after he conquers everything, at least he can go back to the other god and they can dance again. So feels good, man.
It's true, and I would like to think that's.
Also, I love how all the her dead friends is like rooting for her to be with Belle.
I also how like they're semi passive aggressive rude about it too. It's like, no, what are you doing here? Go back.
Go back. Man, that you found.
I was going to ask you, because there was two things that I found that were pretty interesting in terms of new information we got about, like, the dungeon. And one of them is in, like, the Juggernaut, because it makes the point that because the Juggernaut is kind of like a, for lack of a better term, a response team.
A white blood cell.
Yeah. Cells at work, I love that. Anyway, sorry, that just came into my mind. We have stuff coming for that. But I like that... it says that it's unique in the sense that it doesn't give any drop items. It doesn't have any magnet stone. It has a limited lifespan, and it once it's done doing its job, it just dies. Do you think that's going to be like how their bosses are going to be going forward? That their sole thing is just to kill them, or do you think it'll be more for? Because we already seen 2 4 bosses, right? Or 3.
Yeah. What's interesting is, I don't know, I think it'll probably be a mix. It'll probably be mostly, I feel like they've done a lot of, dungeon non-specific irregulars in the last, 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. Dungeon-specific irregulars, I guess would be the term. So I think we should get, normal floor bosses that they fight, even if it's, further down.
But that is to say, there's a lot of cool new monsters. I like that they introduced a lot of
the
new
sheeps.
Monsters. The sheep, the skull sheep. Okay, it's a dumb name, but really cool monsters.
And then you have basically lizard man. You have
the lizard man. I actually wrote down. They said where is it? I don't know if I'm gonna find it in this mess of stuff. But here it is. It says the lizardmen Bill are going up against in 437 or between they're classified by the guild as level 3 and 4, in that range. So
Threat
it's
level.
So it's the same level. So it just goes to show all the monsters he's fighting are pretty strong because they're all on par with him probably. It's just his skill and technique, or just his quick striking magic thinking.
Firebolt.
Yeah, firebolt. We got a lot of that though. I like the firebolt scenes. Every single time though, I can't help but thinking of the the voice actor. It just goes into my mind every time. What do you think of the Coliseum? Do you think there's more areas like that in the dungeon? Because they said. No, I think they said that was the only place in the dungeon that they knew of, but I could be misremembering. They said it was the only place on that floor.
Yeah, I think it was the only place on that floor. I think that's an interesting thing that they can explore, things that have not been explored before in the dungeon. One thing that, I liked about the story, I just think from, a general dungeon perspective was a little weird, is that, they beat the Coliseum, but, they really didn't gain them anything. They got a safe zone, but,
yeah,
you could just walk past it. You don't have... There was no real benefit for, defeating the Coliseum, and they,
Well, there's no, even the maze there, right? Because, as soon as they got out of the maze, there's just the main tunnel that goes to the next floor.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess you kind of need those, right? If you're wanting to, track lower. But I get what you're saying.
It's just kind of weird for a game... For, maybe it's, our games, but, when there's something, super irregular that they're building up as being something unique and you defeat it, you usually get a big prize or something. But I feel in the dungeon it's just nah, we just want to kill you, dude, so whatever.
Yeah, because their last 2 expeditions they've gotten nothing. Even was it Welf or Lily says that they had to use the resources the quest that they took before they figured out Leo was in trouble, the item they got to claim the quest, they had to use it when they were down there. So no, they're just
they're poor again.
I love how Belle's the most poor adventurer either, because in the book it says he has 340 ballots. Just or when he gets back and he's at the guild hospital and it's just this had 8-0 an 8-0 hospital bill behind it, but luckily we have people
we literally saved everyone.
Yeah.
So this, we won't really have too much time in this section, so we'll probably connect them to go into speculation.
Yeah, this will be. I know people don't like long videos, but guess what? You're gonna get a 40-minute thing probably.
Yeah. So next section we'll talk about speculation and we'll talk about some other things. So we'll see you in 2 seconds with this edit, and we're back with speculation.
Yeah. Okay.
For Danmachi, volume 14.
Or it's 15, right?
It's 14.
Well, I know it's
but it's
speculation for 15.
For 15 based on 14.
Yeah, all right. After that needless transition. So you know what's funny is I wrote out all these pieces of paper before Michael said that there was a leaked synopsis.
It's translated.
Or translated synopsis of the 15. So I didn't know this, but it sounds like I was pretty spot on. But we do know, it's no surprise, at the end of the afterwards that the author says that the next volume he wants it to be focusing on everyday life.
So, Volume 8, Part 2.
Yeah, which I'm excited for, because I liked Volume 8. It's not like, it's not like in the top 5, because the regular story is just so good, but I think those things are kind of needed.
I think it is needed for them to chill for a bit after, like, the events of, like, 9, 10, 11, just so people can, like, process what's happening.
Well, not only that, but, like, this book, like, book 14, I was looking at the other one. I don't have all of them, but I have, like, 12 and 10 on my shelf, and this one's, like, twice as thick as that one. And this is mostly action. So I felt like, even at times, I will say, I heard somebody on Game of Thrones, this is completely unrelated, but I heard one of the writers say, like, oh, you can't have just an episode full of action. That would just get pointless and boring. And I'm like, no, it's still really good. But, like, there is a point where, like, these people are broken down, weary, like, they need a rest. And I just want them to be happy for at least 300 pages. So I'm excited for that. I guess we can talk in. I didn't know. I don't know, Michael, if you actually want to read the broken translation riddle of stuff.
We can go through your speculation.
Yeah, I just wrote down what I thought would be cool to see. So I thought, like, obviously, I don't know if we'll see it in the next volume, but just going forward in the future, I'd really like to see where Liu's future, like, kind of resides, because we've seen that she's pronounced dead by the guild. And there's at least seemingly, there's no reason why the guild would, counteract that or look into it. So I'd like to see if she will be, more open to, like, where exactly, because, like, she's got possibilities galore after this point, right? Because, like, I think seeing her join Hestia Familia is, like, unlikely. Because especially after the whole justice thing, because I feel like as a symbolic thing, she wouldn't want to get rid of the symbol and, like, the justice.
But she could be level 5.
I know, she could. I don't think that they can stack levels. Like, for instance, if they stay level 4 for, like, 20 years and they gained enough experience to be level 7, I don't think, like, a god could, like, just immediately get them to level 7. I think there's just lost experience. But, like, I think what's more likely is we're going to see her help out with their party more. I think that's something that's a realistic goal. I think, maybe seeing her start and enjoy life, just, like, in general. Like, maybe we'll see her step out of being an adventurer or a vengeful person and just
chilling.
Yeah, just chill, like, just enjoy her friends at the Benevolent Mistress, make soups or whatever she does there. But I don't think I think that'd be happy to see, but I think because she's kind of rekindled her justice, I think we could see her become like another not vigilante, but just like another symbol of justice, like in the city.
Do you think she could be an unofficial member of Hestia's Familia, like, just to chill with them? Because I feel like
because, like, all the other people are technically, I think that's probably likely. I don't think, though, she would, even as, like, an unregistered one, like, I don't think she would, like, sleep in their house or anything like that.
Well, I don't know. She's got
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
after the events of
it's
37. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she would like to. I guess it depends on if she fully realizes what she's experienced in terms of her feelings.
Yeah, because, like,
the end.
You have, like, Liu and Harahime and Aisha to a certain extent. They're, like, openly pursuing Belle. So I don't know if she's gonna openly pursue Belle or just still, like, deny that part of herself.
Because we were talking about. Sorry, I just, like, my mind did, like, a freaking stutter. Yeah, and I had to say 5 things at once. But we were talking how there's a moment where in the book where Liu says something or tries to say something, but she's, like, beaten down, so she's kind of, like, weak from it. And it really sounds like she was trying to say I love you when she was trying to tell him something, but then she says, like, thank you or something in replace when she goes back to say it. And I think we're both on agreeing that it's probably I love you. And I think that'd be cool because they kind of set that up in the side story that we've been reading where, she's kind of been either dreaming that, like, he's more, like, around her, or, like, he recognizes that, certain aspects of her, or just that, like, you see that appreciation kind of blossom into something else. So,
and Belle was porting a little bit. He was like, "You look beautiful in that dress." I was like, "Belle, you grew up. It's only been 5 months."
Belle's slaying more of the monsters in that dungeon.
Exactly.
But, yeah, Liu is somebody that I think will be really interesting to see going forward. And I really hope this means that she is more interactive with the Familia, because at this point we've only seen her interact, like when there's dire circumstances, or in this case when she was doing something that they felt the need to check in on her. So I really hope that they bring her along for like most of the stuff that they do. So the other thing that I guess there was other stuff. I gotta read at the same time. Oh, seeing Welf develop more of his weapons and maybe showing Hephaestus. I totally butchered it even when I wrote it down. But I think it's cool to see, because we got a little bit of that in Volume 8, but it was only in it wasn't directly, right? Or maybe it was in that one where he takes off her.
Yeah, they were chilling.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. There was
because he made the promise in Volume 8, right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them capitalize on him moving forward in that.
Can we get a hug, boys? Can we get a human on God hug, please?
Is that regulated in this city? I don't know.
Well, Hestia's broken that one.
She might, though, if he shows her that weapon.
Exactly.
Maybe. Or I don't know. Actually, I would even like a little comedy thing where Belle or somebody else in the Familia is like, "Hey, are you gonna show her? You've done a really cool thing," and he's like, "No, it's not perfect. I got to get it right before I can even show her."
Exactly. I don't know.
So I'd like to see that. Same thing. I think they could do the same thing with Mikado too, but I don't think hers as interesting because the god doesn't really know, he's oblivious. So I think seeing Welf relationship is a little bit more interesting in that regard.
Cute,
yeah. Also, I think at this point, I demand it.
I demand.
But, if it doesn't happen, it's whatever. But I think because it's kind of hard to do this in a lighthearted everyday thing, right? Where they can go visit the Xenos. I would really like it. I'd really like, maybe a chapter of them just...
A day out with the Xenos.
Yeah, maybe... Because I don't think it's likely that they would come to the surface disguised, because, that's just too big of a risk. But, I think it'd be cool if, they went down to the dungeon, one of their safe areas that the Xenos know about, and they're just, having a meal and chilling, discussing. If they're going to do an everyday thing, they might as well make it impactful too, because they haven't really been able to interact with them since all the chaotic life and death fighting.
Yeah, and I don't know, we miss the Xenos, miss them boys.
Yeah, I hope the author just doesn't I really hope he doesn't not do that because he's just not, he doesn't. It's not because he doesn't want to do it. It's because the fans. Because I know the fans weren't super into the Xenos. Hopefully that changes after this book. We'll see after you guys start commenting. But
also something that Volume 14 had a fair share, probably 30% of the book was flashbacks. I hope that Volume 15. Not that I didn't like the flashbacks here, but I hope that Volume 15 is 15 to 20% at most. I hope the majority of this stuff is reacting to stuff that's happening in Volume 14 and how that changed the relationships.
Yeah, I think, the flashbacks, whether you liked them or hated them, I think they were kind of necessary. And I do applaud the author for doing something that I myself, stood very proudly about in one of our other ones, is that the reason why Loki Familia is so uninteresting to me is because he shows no development with them at all in the main series. And I think from, just a writing standpoint, that is such a terrible, advertisement to say, hey, if you want to learn more about them or you want to see them actually cool, go read this other thing, right? I think side stories should boost characters up, not, build them, from scratch. So I think that's something that I applaud him for with the flashbacks for Liu's, because, he builds her and actually develops her a little bit more in this. I mean, she was already a pretty well developed character, having that mystery aspect, but because things are kind of getting unturned, I liked it at least. I think that's a good way to do it.
Also, are you excited for, this is speculation, but it has been announced, are you excited for the Freya side story?
Wait, are we getting that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know about that. Yes, heck yeah, I am. Bring me my boy Otter. Let's see him solo that level 68 floor. That's actually something I actually would like to see again, we actually haven't even gotten it really, but I'd like to see a little interaction between him, Belle, and maybe Freya Familia, whether it's just running across them or I don't know, maybe, I don't know, just something
it may be time for a Freya Belle interaction. We haven't had a conversation since the dance scene, and we haven't had a I love you since what is that, volume 7? So
yeah, so there needs to be something, I think, because they're helping them out so much, and like he knows that they're there in the background, you know, even like in the very early part of the story where he's like, I sense something, you know, like he knows somebody's watching him, and at this point I think he's able to put together it's Freya, because there's a few moments where he's seen them kind of in the same area that he's at. So yeah, we need a little interaction, but I didn't know there was a side story. That makes me super hyped. Is it gonna be?
I don't know.
When is it coming?
I don't know. It got announced a couple months ago. We can talk about that later and maybe go into speculation.
Yeah, I'd love to know more about like where it sets at. I hope, if anything, too, I'd like to see them interact together. Oh, you know what? Actually, be pretty cool, because we know the benevolent mistress has ties to Freya Familia. It would actually be cool to see them interact with the people at the benevolent mistress, since those are people that we don't really. I mean, we know about, but we don't really necessarily know a lot of stuff, or even seeing, I don't know, do you think like a prequel would be interesting for that?
Maybe for the Chronicles it could be like a Mamma Mia or whatever, fighting alongside Otter and the boys and figuring
like
out how powerful she is.
And figuring out how Otter got to level 7.
Yeah.
It isn't, we don't even know his age. Anyway, sorry, that's a different speculation. Darn you for bringing it up, but also thank you for bringing it up, because I had no idea. Do you think
that's pretty much it?
Well, there is 2 things, I think.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so in the last side story we got, Volume 8, that's the only one we have to go on. So we focused on other characters that we don't necessarily see a lot of times, like Aina, or Ina, whatever the crap her name is, at the guild. And then we also got little glimpses of Seer and the orphanage. Now,
those kids.
Do you think the only reason why we saw those was because to help, you know, bring in certain elements for like that arc that happened right after, or do you think it's a possibility that he just will focus on those characters because that's the only time they have to shine?
I think Ina will be a part of this one. I don't know. They need to develop her, figure out what role she's going to be if like Liu is the new teacher. I mean, I guess she's like the.
You know what'd be funny is if like she goes to Belle when Belle's like hanging out with Liu and she like recognized her at the Gale win.
It's like, oh, well.
Like, actually, he's alive. And they're like, no, hear us out.
Relax. It's fine.
Yeah. Because the last time, maybe we could see the adventurers they saved, because the adventurers they saved in 13 were the same people that stalked her.
Yeah. And they're still around.
Yeah, well, one's missing some limbs.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
it'll be okay.
You know,
just get a fake arm. Belle almost had to do it, okay?
Dude, that was something I was super worried about. I knew they weren't going to do it, because there would just be no way. I mean, that would actually make it probably more impressive, as if he, like, whatever happened with a fake arm. But,
he's a hero. He can't have a fake arm.
Yeah, he can. So, one last thing before we go. What is your speculation about levels?
Okay.
Do you think we're going to get level
first of all, I will talk about that.
Okay.
Second of all, one other scene I want in the next book is, like, Freya learning about all this stuff Belle's done in, like, 13 and 14 and being like, oh my gosh. He's growing. He's excited. It's almost time.
What would you say if, like, at the very end we get that and she's, like just ecstatic and, like, being all girly about it, and then in the shadows we realize she's talking to Zeus? That's so not going to happen, but, like, you know, that would be funny.
Okay, so level up.
Level ups, yeah. Sorry, real speculation talk this time.
So I think everyone's going to be level 3.
Everyone.
I got some. I guess like Liu and Harahime will probably be 2, and we'll have to figure out how their magic gets affected by that. Probably longer duration.
Harahime, she's level 1 still, right?
Yeah,
technically.
I don't know if she earns XP by like. I don't know. So she might not be level 2, but it would make sense if she's level 2 because like we figured out like one of the things, even with level boost, it's gotten to the point where like the monsters are so strong that like just like the environmental factors of like getting close to like one-shotting them. So I think they do need to level up pretty much everyone.
Because when they didn't have her, they were like toast. Yeah, they were struggling.
I think Belle may level up to 5. It may be another 1 or 2 books before he levels up to 5. Liu is still like top level 4. I don't know if she's gonna update her status.
Yeah. You know what's actually cool is we learned that. Well, we knew that Astria wasn't dead in the newest book that we covered in the side story.
She walked out, yeah.
But the thing that we got in this one is that Liu's actually still in contact with her via the occasional letter. So, could she come back and update her status, please?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That actually might be a cool little deal, because if she comes back, that could piggyback off of this arc that we just finished.
Still do justice meta, and they can have a reconciliation.
They could just have, like, there doesn't have to be action behind that. That'd actually be really nice. I'd like that. I don't know, because, like, I think Lily and Hirohime, they definitely need to level up to 2 as just supporter, like, because, like you said, like, Welf and Mikado and Oka and Chikasa, like, they were all, like, struggling super hard before Welf made his magic sword. So, like, if they went down to the lower levels again and they're still level 1, that would not be good. So they got to get leveled up. I feel like Mikado and Welf should level up too, but I don't know if all of them. Like, yeah, they're probably.
Cassandra doesn't have to level up, and Daphne doesn't have to level up. They can stay 2.
Yeah, they're 2. They're not 3. And then Aisha
should probably stay level 4.
Yeah, she probably. I think Belle will probably, just because he takes so long. Like, he doesn't take that long to level up, but yet he does. Like, the things you would think he levels up from, you wouldn't suspect that would be the cause.
Yeah.
Which
because they leveled up to 4 at the same time? Or did...
I think.
Yeah. Or close-ish time?
Yeah, I think they did.
Or maybe he leveled... Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. And then Mikado and Welf haven't leveled up since, like, the middle of the first season content? Or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which, in retrospect is only, like, 3 months, but...
Yeah, but still, like, I feel like it's time. You're right. It's time. I think everybody could have a potential level up besides probably Aisha and Belle. And
Belle should be level 5, though.
Belle should totally be level 5 after holding off the Juggernaut by himself.
He's gone through.
Oh,
his life.
Yeah. Which
bring him to the deep levels.
I don't know. Maybe he'll 1v1 Astros in the next book or the next arc, and then he'll level up. But anyway, guys, I guess we'll stop here because I think the camera's about to tell us to say goodbye again. So we covered a lot of info. We have enough info that we could do like something else later.
We'll definitely have some more Danmachi stuff out.
Yeah, we'll come back for the Freya one because hopefully you'll have more information about that. I actually have the 5th manga volume of Liu's side story at my house that we need to read. So stay tuned for that. And then as always, there'll be another fun discussion, I'm sure, of Danmachi pretty soon. Another questionnaire, guys. You need comic questions. I can do questions, but
these videos get like 300 views, but we need more comments.
I know. I need somebody.
It says the video that has 20 views 2 weeks afterwards, but whatever.
Yeah, probably.
It's
all
40
right, guys.
minutes.
So we'll see you later, and go see the review if you haven't. This is too late to say that, but anyway, peace.